PR Connections Radio presents.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Evelyn's Roundtable. This podcast highlights a host of relevant topics. Our conversations share voices of women of color, Black women veterans and veterans, allies, candidates, and elected officials, entrepreneurs, teachers, students, and others. We also explore important issues and challenges such as grassroots leadership, job training, homelessness, and mental health advocacy, accountability, male inclusion, and civics. Our mission statement is to empower all women. Do you hear me? All women to hold hands as we rise. Well, I wanted to just, oh my gosh, ladies, thank you for being on here. Our conversation shared well. And I think it's important because this is the end of Women's History Month. And I handpicked you. And I want you to know that this might not be your last visit. So just get ready. But I think it's important for us women. And even what's even more nice here is that we have a triangle, which I think triangles are very powerful. We have a triangle of 3 women of color, which is very powerful. And I just want to have a conversation about women's history and what you think, what part do you play in it, and all of that. So can I start off with my first guest? And Marquita, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit of background, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Marquetta, and I am an Air Force veteran, born and raised in Los Angeles. I went into the military because a friend thought it would be a good idea and wanted to go on the buddy pass. I enlisted and she stayed at home, and that was how my military career began. I served during 9/11 in Saudi Arabia and then was discharged a year later for refusing the anthrax vaccination. That was my first lesson really in self-advocacy as an adult, learning how to fight for myself and really reach out to my community for support. I was threatened with a dishonorable discharge in an article, but I was able to get some character letters to help me advocate for myself and to not get out with that dishonorable discharge. And I did not receive an article. For many years, I didn't know that I was a veteran until at least about 10 years after I got out the service. I didn't know that I was a veteran. And after I found out I was a veteran, I realized that there was a lot of work to be done in the women veteran community. I didn't want any other women to be like me, not knowing how to advocate for themselves, not knowing that they were veterans, and not tapping into the resources that are out there based on our service. So now I run She Served Sheroes, which is an organization to amplify the stories of Black and Brown women veterans. Thank you for having me, Evelyn. You are a joy, a trailblazer, a leader, and I'm honored to be here with you.
Oh, and thank you. Thank you. You know, we're going to hit on some of them subjects that you're already talking about, right?
Yes.
Good. So my next beautiful guest, oh my gosh, Sarah. Oh my gosh. Sarah, can you please give us some background on you?
Yeah, so my name is Sarah Gutierrez. I am a 23-year-old. I am a mom of 2. I have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. So I'm at that phase where my life is nonstop. On top of that, I had the pleasure and honor of meeting Evelyn Pacheco through my sister, and we hit it off. Like, this woman is so incredible. She empowered me. She's a role model for me right now. Like, I'm looking up to her to, do my best in life. Since I'm a mom of 2, diapers are not cheap at all. Feeding 2 babies is not cheap. The prices, rent is going up. It's not coming down anytime soon. So I'm over here trying to think, okay, I need to think what's going to benefit me and my babies at the end of the day. So that's where I decided to ask Evelyn Pacheco for advice into how to get into the sprinkler fitter And thankfully, I'm an apprentice thanks to her. So here I am, trying to do my best as a female. And I had the honors to be the first apprentice woman here in my, I think they call it districts too. Fire sprinklers. I'm still learning a little bit. Sorry, I don't necessarily know the terming, but I'm actually really proud of that though, because you're like the center of attention of all these men that think that you're not gonna make it at all. So proving them wrong, here I am to stay long term and make this my career choice because I honestly do like it. Um, I've learned so much just throughout the few months that I've been working and then getting all my studies done. It's something that is very complicated for me since I did do a few years of college. I was trying to go for nursing, but everything changes in the blink of an eye, but that's okay. I can roll with it. I can roll with any challenge my way. So yeah, that's
Oh yes.
Okay.
I hear you. Yes, yes. And me and Sarah have a thing too, and it's and I don't even remember the name of the sitcom where it came from. I think She's the World or All the World or something like that, and it is two Black women that talk about encouragement and empowerment, and they talk. One of them says she's the boss, and so and then the other one responds to, well, I'm the boss. And then she says it really loud, like, who's the boss? And so me and Sarah do that. To me, that is so empowering. And then, she'll text me and then I'll be like, I'm the boss. And then I'll text her and she'll say, I'm the boss. And it was just something that we've been doing, and it's really, to me, empowering. Wow. And I'm so proud of you, Sarah. I mean, it can't be easy to be in construction, and let alone and oh yes, are you the first one in your family to continue the legacy as a woman? Are you the first one?
Yes, I am. I'm the oldest out of 4 other siblings. My father was in construction. He used to do the whole texture, everything that has to do with drywall. My dad always, he kind of sided towards my brother because I have one brother only. And I was always curious to know, hey, Dad, can I go in the union one day? He's like, we'll see. When you grow up, you'll think about it. But he would always encourage us because he would say that they would pay you to learn. I was like, who doesn't want to get paid to learn something new? Like, who's going to bypass that, But I am the first one in my family, and I'm so proud. And I know for a fact my father is proud of me. Unfortunately, he's not here with me anymore. But I know he's here by my side, cheering me on, empowering me. And thankfully, I'm here where I'm at if it wasn't for him.
That's right. And you're doing a damn good job. Remember, this is my show. I can swear too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, Marquette, I wanted to ask you something because you hit on something that's close to me too. I also didn't know I was a veteran, and I don't even know how I got in that space, to be really honest with you. And could you talk a little bit about that? Because you said 10 years out of you that since when you got out of the military. For me, it was just 6 years ago, and I was done in 1992. I was done. So from 1992, well, actually the whole time, right? I didn't know I was a veteran up until 6 years ago, which is, oh my gosh, right? And I'm like you, right? Now I'm like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. I want to do this. Oh my gosh, I want to do that. And I want to empower. I want to this. So can you kind of tell us a little bit, explain about the feeling of what you felt and now?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because there's two different ones, right?
It definitely is. It's crazy because we don't have a lot of training on exiting the military and who we are, what our service has to do with actually getting out and that whole transition period. So because I was discharged, I didn't retire. I didn't do 20 years. All of these reasons I didn't know. I just thought that, I know I was in the military. I know I served. I know I was in Saudi Arabia during 9/11. I know that I did these things that I feel like matter for my country. but no one, there was no kind of, okay, you're going to get out. This is how we're going to help you. Nothing. So I thought like, and people would ask me too, that knew that I was in the Air Force. They would be like, so what do you do as a veteran? I'm like, oh, I'm not a veteran. I didn't, I didn't retire. Oh, I'm not a veteran. I had no idea. I actually ended up in a really bad relationship that left me homeless, amongst other things, right? And someone that is close to my family said, girl, you are a veteran. Go get some help. People will help you. And I'm like, nope, I don't think so. I don't even think I'm a veteran. And she's like, yes, you are. Go to this building, tell them you served, and see if you can get some help. And so my first experience in learning that I was a veteran, honestly, and I'm going to be completely transparent here, was applying for HUD VASH as a homeless veteran, realizing that there was something that could help me get on my feet. And for me, I want people to know that I experienced homelessness and that I got on the HUD VASH program because I was able to pick myself up from there. And it was, I did the Dress for Success. I did a lot of things to help me get back on my feet, to get a job, to do all of these things to restart life. So now that, I have this nonprofit for veteran women, it's that feeling of a woman or any veteran, but my focus specifically is minority veterans. And I'm unapologetic about saying that, minority female veterans. I don't want any woman to feel like that has served this country, to not know where to turn. So feeling that empowerment of, my service counts just as much as our male counterparts, just as much as someone that retired. I signed the dotted line. I served my country proudly. And so now the work is to make sure that other women, because so many of us as women, we categorize our lives. So it's like, once we hang up that hat or hang up that soldier uniform, now we're on to the next phase of our life. Yes. But, there's a lot of healing usually that has to be done from when we get out of the military as well. So it's just that empowerment of making sure that all women that served can proudly say, I am a veteran, without confusion in that.
Woo! Said a whole mouthful there, man. Just all the feelings. I'm like, ooh, right? It's something. It's something. And as far as for me, I thought because I stayed stateside that I wasn't a veteran. Because I didn't go anywhere. In 85, there was nothing happening. Really. I think we're on the tail end of everything or getting ready to get on the other part of it, but there's nothing that really went on, then so it's something, to feel that. And then you're like, wow, I missed out on this. Oh my gosh, I didn't do this. And it's something. And so Sarah, I wanted to ask you, is there someone dead or alive, doesn't matter, that was someone that you looked up to, and someone that, or even someone that helps you now when you need uplift, right? Is there a man, woman, doesn't matter, that was there for guidance, help, any of that?
Well, as a big family of 4, I usually go to my siblings whenever I'm down. But in the real world, we work with people outside. Like every corner, my dad, I would look up a lot. I would say my dad and my husband as well, because they've been by my side through thick and thin. Like it got to a point where we were struggling financially really bad. And, my husband thankfully was there to help us out. But community for us is a big thing. Like that's where I learned my communication skills and how to reach out to people face to face, one-on-one. And that's why I grew up to be the woman that I am now, because no matter how hard the situation was, we would always try to help out the best that we can. Because you're talking about, like, for example, veterans. For example, you see them in the corner, nobody knows that they're there. Family members don't have contacts with them. And, they're looking for help. And that's where my dad always came in, and we try to talk to them, help them in whatever ways that we can. But I would say my father and my husband were the two main ones that empowered me to be the woman that I am. Especially, I know they're man, but I mean, my mom too. Like, there's so many people I could name out. My mom, like, she came from Mexico to look for a better life, and here she is. You know, still every single day I look up to that woman. I'm just like, how do you do it, mom? I don't know how you do it. I'm a new mom. I'm barely trying to figure out my own life, and then now to figure out the two other ones that are following me. It's like,
It's
girls,
a lot.
yeah, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot that goes in.
There's yeah. And the same question to you, Marquetta. Who in your life?
I call myself a granny girl. My main inspiration growing up was my grandmother. She was a single mother of four, had her master's degree, worked for the VA for 35 years. In conjunction with working at the VA full time, she sold encyclopedias, she sold houses, all of the side businesses. And so I was very aware of women empowerment at a very young age, self-sufficiency at a very young age, and entrepreneurship. So as I got older, it's kind of like, how do you juggle all of these things? How did she even do that? But it has been an inspiration of just kind of feeling that I am every woman. I had a great example that showed me how to do all of the things. And I'm just a very, very, very big believer of community. God has placed dynamic women in my life throughout my years. And so I've had great examples of women in leadership to kind of follow in their footsteps, give them their flowers while they're here, honor them and thank them for their work, like yourself, Evelyn. Learn, take those nuggets from them, and help how all those things kind of help to be who I am.
Isn't that something too? Because even talking about Dumas, who passed away and everything, and I thought about that, and I think that's why me and the grandkids would go to California and visit him and talk with him, because I think you need to celebrate now, right? To me, I mean, you only have one life. You come in this world by yourself, you leave this world by yourself. And I think we need to enjoy. We need to push everything to the max. And as Dr. Sandra Cosgrove says, we need to grab each other and hang on and jump off the damn cliff. And knowing that we're going to land on our feet. Yeah, it's going to hurt. Maybe we're going to smack the wall and all that. But you know what, ladies? We're going to land on our feet. We really are. We really are. So Sarah, you tell us a little bit about what you're doing with the sprinkler fitters. I think we all kind of want to know, kind of like some of the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? We don't just want to know you made some good checks, but we want to know everything else.
So, I mean, the waking up early was not any challenge whatsoever. So it was getting there, you had to be ready to go. There was no time for playing around, no time for being on the phone. And every day is a new learning day. Like, I would go on the job site and they'll be teaching me so many things. I'm like, okay, I need to calm down, breathe, organize, and especially the machinery working it, like they would show you one time, and then you would have to catch it, grasp it right on, and then try to figure it out as you go. So, I mean, I did it. I did each and every machinery. It was my first time. I've never driven a forklift, nor did I have any clue what a bigger one looked like. I was freaking out. I'm like, you want me to drive that here? Okay, let's do it. And my response would always be like, okay, let's do it. Let's go. Teach me and I'll do it. And every single day would be something new. And then when I saw those pipes that we had to hang, because I would see them on a boom lift, and then the whole boom lift is just like shaking left and right as they're trying to go up to where they have to place it. I'm like, oh Lord, imagine how that's gonna feel when I go up there. And I did go, and that's not too bad at all. But those pipes are heavy. I am gonna say that, because even like small pieces, when I had to I think what's the word, weld it, or like make it the size that we had to do it, I would carry it and I would be sweating. I'm like, this is not gonna bring me down. I'm gonna carry it on my shoulder and go on. And you would like carry it throughout, like across the job site or wherever they were at. Sometimes you could use the forklift, but especially for the small ones, you didn't necessarily need them. But it's heavy. I was like, Lord have mercy. So I'm using a lot of muscle there. Got a little bit of muscles in case of anything. You know, I'm ready like Evelyn is in case of anything. Come back. So yeah.
Wow. Yes, because I know you sent me pictures of you having a whole full load. So the pipe she's talking about, they're like 21 feet, y'all. It's not like it's 10 feet. These are like, and it's probably was at least 21 foot length pipes on that forklift that she was on, which she had a load on. And the boom she's talking about is a little basket that goes up. When you put the pipe on there, and you can extend like 3 stories on this boom lift, right? But you got to do it, right? Like she said, hey, that's your job, right? Yeah, I thought it was always interesting when I went to do plumbers and pipe fitters union in there, and then I realized after the fact, like, maybe how did I know I was afraid of heights? You know what I'm saying? Like, here I am in that little basket 3 stories up, or when you get up way, way, way up before all the windows are put in the building, and you can just stand over the edge and look down, no matter what floor you're on, 21st to 30th floor. Yeah, y'all. It got real, but it was like, wow, I didn't even think about that. Let me think about that. So, Marquetta, can you tell me to kind of a little bit about your background? I mean, you said you went into the military, you said entrepreneur, but you didn't say what entrepreneur. You didn't say what jobs or anything that you're doing to bring you to where you're at.
Okay. Well, so when I was in the military, I went in open general. My recruiter told me I had high ASVAB scores. If you just get on the next plane smoking, you're going to get a great job. So I didn't have a lot of information there. Got to basic training and found out real quick there were no options. You're going to be a cook. So
oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's hospitality in the Air Force. It's like hospitality management. We run the fitness center, the lodging, the dining hall, and those things. So when I got out of the military, I went into restaurant management. So I opened a lot of restaurants in different states, and then after running restaurants, I went in. I've done a lot of different type of gig work, but when I came to Las Vegas, I became a veteran career coach and a certified professional resume writer. So I was doing a lot of things with helping veterans get into careers, get that grant funding for the professional certifications, writing resumes and things like that. And working there as a veteran career coach really inspired my passion to get back into, because I have been an entrepreneur before. So really doing my own thing in restaurants. I've done a lot of consulting and helping small restaurants get started, setting up their systems. And I'm a Virgo, so I'm really big on systems. And so I started a business with a good friend of mine, my partner, Latari. We started Oliver Davis Consulting and building out like CRMs and systems for small businesses. I find that there's still businesses on paper. There's still businesses that don't have like their own email marketing to keep in touch with their customers. They don't have their social media up and active. So all these things, we've just been implementing systems and getting those systems in place, which I enjoy a lot. But that led to the She Serves Sheroes. We were doing business with a lot of women. And again, my passion is specifically minority, veteran, women. All 3 of those checks, minority, veteran, women. And so we've been working more with veteran women and trying to help them implement their systems. But as we grew, and now that we are an actual nonprofit, we're working more towards trying to get women in employment like yourself. We want to help guide women to you, get women in trades, renewable energy, we want to feed to these partners that are doing the incredible work and make sure that the women veteran have the resources to make it happen. And so we've just been out there. We started with the podcast, and now we're just trying to get out to all the veteran events, stay active in the community. And when I've gone to veteran service organizations, not all, but several, I feel like I've had to prove that I was a veteran versus just walking in. And because I walked into a veteran service organization, you should assume that I'm a veteran. So again, with She Serves Sheroes, we are really trying to create that space of a veteran organization that was designed with women in mind. You know, we should not be seen and asking for a spouse. If I'm asking for veteran services, it's because I'm a veteran. It's not because I'm the spouse.
Right.
And also, there's just so many resources that we just don't know about. And they're plentiful out there. There's so many things that we can help each other with. So it's all about spreading the knowledge, because our counterparts, they come out, they're ready to use their VA loan. They're ready, you know, all these things. They're service connected. They know exactly what to do. And I don't feel like, as women, minority women specifically, that we're being ran that breakdown. This is how you take care of yourself. This is what you need to make sure you do. And so we want to spread that awareness and those stories so that we are just as empowered as our counterparts and can make these decisions. I mean, you're way ahead of us, being 23 years old, a wife, a parent of two, and in a career that is amazing career with all of this growth. You know, it's like we want to see that in the veteran community as well, that you have that support and that system in place to be your best version of yourself.
So I mean, I know the answer, but why do you think there is so many barriers or so many, gatekeepers, right? I mean, we just went to an event, you know, here for the Women's Veterans Conference, and that was something. You know what I mean? Towards the end there, I've seen a lot of women stand up and talk about how they didn't feel safe and talk about how they were suicidal. But yet this was a conference where everybody's supposed to have been there, right? The NDVS was there, the VA was there. That's who was putting on the event. But still, yeah, we got all the glamour, all of this, but yet it's still happening. Right? People are still looking the other way. People are still not, you know, it's almost like, to me, like a groupie type of thing, right? It's like, oh, I'm part of this, so therefore, so why do you think that? I know I'm going on and on here, but.
No, it's totally fine. You know, I think that, like other issues in our society, there's a whole systemic problem that we have to go back to the beginning. Right now, when we talk about women veterans, we know that we are the highest growing population in the military. But when we talk about women veterans and the reports and the statistics, right now we show that 1 in almost 4 women are reporting military sexual trauma. Those are only women that are VA service connected, that are getting health care. Unfortunately, many of us are not receiving any kind of health care. We're not going into these mainstream organizations. Once we get out, we're like, especially if we had a bad experience, that chapter is done and it's gone and it's over with. I think that we really have to, we said it's an election year, we really have to talk to our politicians, be at these committee meetings, and really start getting in our voice louder and showing up. And then I think it's also really important that we reach back. Like, I had someone that challenged me, and now it's something that I really want to focus on. Not only helping women after they get out the military, but creating mentorship programs for women that are going into the military to help prepare them for the things that they may experience. A lot of times we're running away from situations. We don't have the finances that we need. We're going into the military in hopes of really changing our lives and making a way for ourselves. So a lot of times you can't go back home because what was happening at home is what you're escaping. So when things happen to us in the military, we don't have anywhere else to go. So I think we really have to focus on preventative versus afterwards. We know the culture. We know that there are bad things that happen in the military, and it's been designed this way for a long time. So this is the way that it is. So I think that, you know, in creating change, we have to not only be reactive, but we have to start being proactive and getting into women as far as mentorship and helping guide them before they even go down that road. We want women to come out of the military as soldiers, not as survivors.
No, and I totally agree, because I think if I would have had this talk when I went in, there had been a lot of things different in there when I went in there. Because when you go in there, you think, and they tell you, right? That's your drill sergeant. You do everything he says or she says. You don't veer from it. You don't this from it. But you know things are wrong, right? You know that. Well, why is he in the bed in the little room with one of the ladies? We know that's not supposed to be happening. But I think you get so wrapped up in what they're saying to you because you think they're telling you the right thing because they're the government and this is your drill sergeant who you're supposed to listen to. And it's really sad. And you're right. I got trapped in that sexual stuff too. And again, that's probably why I didn't want anything to do with anything no more. I was done with it, you know? And then now I didn't even know I was going to do a claim. I haven't even got my GI Bill. I mean, nothing I have done, right? But to file for my claim, which I did, but I had to bring all that mess back up again.
Right.
All that mess had to come back up on what happened, oh my gosh. And that was something else too, you know? And then you're telling somebody else that's a stranger, but yet you know you need to get this claim in. You know you need to get it out and you got to talk about it. But sexual trauma is nothing nice, you know? Right. And for people to just say, oh, well, you know, this happened, but this didn't happen. No.
Right.
No. That's something.
So our voices have to be louder. We make up 10% of the veteran community, and that number is growing and growing. And we just have to amplify our voices louder and make these changes that have to happen.
And then even in construction too, because Sarah hit on it too, you know, and would you please respond to some other things, but because pretty much the construction and the military go hand in hand when we're talking about sexual harassment and all of that. And that's something that me and Sarah talk about, you know, and I said something before she even started, said, hey, this is going to happen. The guys, can you elaborate on that, please?
No, yeah, that is a very important thing that you do need to discuss before anything. That way you go in, focus, you know, obviously there's going to be distractions left and right. There's going to be guys coming behind you like, oh, what's your number? Trying to distract you. But honestly, you just have to focus, keep your mindset. Don't let them distract you whatsoever. You know, just keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, there's distractions left and right. You're the only female there. And somebody's going to come eventually and try to, you know, poke at you and try to see how far they could go. And then if you stay quiet, unfortunately, we already know, but that is not the case. Thanks to Evelyn for warning me. And I'm keeping up my guard because they can easily use that for anything. Like just a simple, oh, hey, type of flirty type of thing. Like they already got your attention. That's already wrong. Like you started wrong already. Like focus, seriousness at all time. No joking around. Like you're not there to flirt. You're not there to find your next husband. Trust me, you can find better outside. I know they have money, but they're not good for you whatsoever. So I would say go look somewhere else. There's many men out there, but it's a very important concept that we do need to hit and whatever.
Yeah. Don't clap where you sleep.
Anywhere else, yeah. So
just don't. And Sarah's right. It is very appetizing too. You know what I'm saying? That this person is making good money. You're thinking, oh my gosh, but no, ladies.
But that's so powerful too, though. I'm sure that has affected your experience, Sarah. The fact that Evelyn at least prepared you, it makes a difference. It makes a big difference. So it's that work. So I appreciate that you have a mentor like Evelyn that can prepare you for those types of situations. Because, you know, if you just went in not knowing, you're saying all the things like, I'm not engaging in this. I'm not giving you the reaction you want, all of those things. But if no one ever said anything to you and you're young, it's easy to be like, oh, well, I don't want to offend you. Or, you know, all the things that we may be thinking in our mind. So it's just powerful when we actually speak and prepare someone else.
Yes, because I don't want any of the ladies coming through Nevada Women in Trades to say, oh, you didn't tell me, you didn't say, and you're a female. You know what I mean? I really didn't. And I don't. And even when doing this curriculum for Nevada, that's some of the things I thought, well, what did I need that I didn't get? Right. And even now when I do all these things and say this, you know, they don't want me saying that. They don't want me telling the ladies that, you know, you're going to be sexually harassed. They don't want me telling the ladies, hey, be on your guard. But to me, it's like, that's not fair. Right. You know? Yeah. So you want me to say, oh, you're going to make $100,000 a year. You're going to be able to travel. You're going to be come on. That's not the real world, y'all. that's some, I don't know what world that is, but it's not real. And so I just I think it was important to let all the ladies know what was going on, what is going on, and all of that. So can I get your last words, please, Makeda? You know what, Makeda? I just want to say thank you for this. And I know you're busy, and I know you're doing things too, because you're really trying to get your stuff together, and you are, wow, and you're something out here, and you got me thinking about everything and all of that, and I'm just so proud of you and what you're doing. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud that it's okay to say, and I'm learning this, but it's okay to say that I'm doing this for Black and brown women. There's
Period.
nothing
Unapologetically.
wrong. And they try to get you on that, like, well, wait a minute. Well, and then so I say, oh, allies, right? If you want me to say that, no, to me, that's why I said it on my intro, Black women, women of color. You know what I mean? I mean, no, we have to. And even when I do my speaking, I say now, which I didn't do before, I talk about my grandbabies, and they're young Black women. It's about empowering them,
Yes.
as women of color. We have to do that. So I just want to give you a couple of minutes here to any last things, thoughts on women's history, why we're here, before we shove off.
Yeah, two things I want to say about women's history specifically. One thing that you just mentioned, again, that impressed me about you, and I can tell you that I loved when I saw it, is that you keep those grandbabies tight, close to you, and bring them out in the street with you. And by out in the street, you know what I mean? I mean, when
Yeah.
you're at the committee meetings, when you're doing the work, when you're being honored in all of those areas, that's giving them, like my grandmother gave me, that road of, this is the kind of woman that I'm going to be. It's given that history lesson right there and empowering them as children, and they will be dynamic leaders because of the road that was set before them. And on women's history, I just want to say one thing. I want to acknowledge the 688th Battalion that is getting a lot of history, a lot of publicity now. But the 688th Battalion, as we're talking about women's history and we're talking about military, was a battalion of all Black women during World War II, whose assignment was to go in and get the mail from being backed up and out to the troops. No mail, low morale was their theme. And these women came back home from World War II. No one was giving them credit. No one was acknowledging them. It was not a big deal at all. And a few years ago, there was a presidential award, congressional award for these women. And there were still like 7 women that were alive. We had one in Las Vegas, Lena King, that just passed away about a month and a half ago. And so even, I said that to say, even when we don't realize how impactful our work is, keep doing the work that you're doing, because people are watching, whether you know it or not. Like yourself, Sarah, you're young and making it happen. People are watching. Evelyn, everything you're doing, I'm in Dallas, Texas right now. And I met someone and he's like, you need to know Evelyn. I'm like, thankfully I do.
And here we are, right?
Here we are. People are watching, whether you realize it or not. Keep doing what you're doing. People are watching, and time will tell. You keep doing what you're doing, and you have that history, and people can't argue with what you're actually doing. So I would just say to all women, if you're on your path and you're confident and happy in what you're doing and you're making an impact, stay on that train, baby, because there's support out there. And even if you don't see it, people are watching.
Yeah.
No. I totally concur on everything you said, Queen. Everything you said. Yes. 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 So, Sarah, what's any last thoughts on women's history, or any other knowledge or anything you've been thinking about that you want to say before we shove off?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you very much, both of you, for Evelyn, first of all, for giving me the opportunity to meet this amazing young woman that I am so mind blown, because honestly, I was also trying to join the Marines to fix my mom's documents. So you have all these things, like you said, trying to run away from all the problems or try to solve the problems that you have at home, not knowing what's going to come with that. So I'm very glad I'm here with both of you. I look up to meeting anybody else and just any woman out there, empower one another. You know, we're all gonna go through many obstacles. We all need a little, hey, who's the boss type of thing, type of text. For one another. Like, let's just help one another grow and make history. Because hey, women rule the world.
Yes.
Bye. And they can't take it away from you.
No, the only way you can get here on this planet is through a woman.
Yes,
Woo,
exactly.
baby.
So
Ain't that the truth? Because you sure ain't going through the blank of the man to get here. So we know that.
So yeah, I'm really glad that I'm here with Evelyn, and I can't wait to grow and keep meeting more and more people and get more knowledge, because that's honestly what it is. You grow from each and every person, like you said. You met so many wonderful women in your life, and that's what made you you. And honestly, that's what I'm looking forward to, and can't wait. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, it does get you. I mean, to me, that's what we're here to do, right?
Yeah.
We're here to be as one on this earth, but we're also here to leave something here. You know what I mean? We're not God, and whether it's your God or your higher power, but you're here for a reason. There's a purpose, ladies, why we're here. We didn't just be born and say, okay. No, there's a gift that you have. And please, if you haven't found the gift, find the gift. Search out the gift. And it's just so rewarding when you do, because I know I've found mine. You know, my passion, my gift is what I'm doing. But to find your gift is, oh my goodness. And they said, oh, well, Evelyn, you know what? You don't get paid. You don't get. I said, you know what? That's coming. But changing the lives of the women that came across my path has been worth more money than anything. That feeling, and I call it the Holy Spirit, because that's the feeling to me that I get. And it's like, oh my gosh, it feels like you can jump out of the planes. You can, when you get that feeling, you're like, dang, So I am blessed to be with both of you ladies on here. And I thank you so much for coming on here. And remember, you're going to come back again. So don't forget. But we got different subjects and different things we're going to talk about. And so and then next month, my topic is going to be invisible. That's something that, yes. And I think we all have a lot to say about that right there. But I'm going to pick a talk. But anyways, I just want to leave off with my quote of this evening. And it is to empower all women. It is for us to hold hands with all of us together as we rise. And that was something that I was trying to figure out the mission statement for here. And I just thought about rising and us being together and us having conversation. And so that is my mission statement, ladies. And again, thank you for being on here.
Thank you. Yes. And for all that you're doing. Thank you. Keep going. And those of us behind you are going to keep pushing you forward.
Yes.
That's right. Including with all the daggers too. It's okay. I got them. It's all right.
We'll pull them out.
Yes. At least, yeah. Patch them too while you're pulling them out.
Pull them out and patch them. But you're incredible, Evelyn. Thank you so much for this platform and just for all of the work that you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. This was I had to think about this. I really did. I had to think about this right here because I didn't want it to take away from what I'm already doing, but I'm learning it's not. Mm-hmm. It's really empowering and having a space to where I can say what I want to say. And I got to be kind of politically correct a little bit, but it's time, y'all. It is to say how we feel and not be scared about it. And hell, the men are open about it. Yeah. So, and I don't know why she's not turning it off yet, but that's okay. We already know.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.